Well, hello everybody, pre-algebra kiddos. As you saw from MinWeb, we did skip the teaching of lesson 102. We'll highlight that in algebra next year. But we're going to do 103, line plots and box and whisker plots. Now I'm going to do a simplified example on the board. You need to read through the lesson in the book, all right? But there are a lot more numbers, and for time's sake and simplicity, I'm going to make this pretty easy and basic. So line plots and box and whisker plots are ways that statisticians or marketers will plot information for various reasons. And I want you all to learn how to do line plots, which is very, very simple, and box and whisker. And sometimes people get a little bit scared of them, they don't understand. But basically what you're doing is dividing the data into 4 sections, okay? Your low point, your high point, your midpoint, all right? Now, the midpoint, we're going to put this data here. I have how many pieces of data? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pieces, all right? So which one would be in the middle? The 6th piece. Okay, very good. So this piece right here is our midpoint. Okay, so we have low, we have high, we have middle. Okay, and then what you also do is find the middle of the first half. Okay, so the middle of the first half would be between 8 and 10. So it would be 9, wouldn't it? Okay, and the middle of the last half would be between 20 and 22, so 21, right? So we call that our first quartile. We call this our third quartile. So the box and whisker is really not difficult. If you take your data, always put it in order. I went ahead and put this in order to make it simpler and less time consuming. But if it's not in order, you need to put it from least to greatest. If there's not a middle point, like in other words, there's an even number of pieces of data, then you get the median of the two in the middle, okay? So in my data up here, I have a midpoint, a middle point, okay, that would be our median, and I divided up the first half into the middle and the last half, okay? Now, for line plots, very simple. You just have a number line, and you're going to put an X for each piece of data. So I did this number line by 5s, okay? You can design yours your own way, but this is kind of basic and pretty simple. So my first piece of data is 7, so I put an X. I have 2 8s, okay? I have a 10, I have a 12, a 15, a 17, a 20, a 22, 25, and a 28. And you might want to count, make sure that you have enough X's for each piece. So that's a line plot. You just plot the values by X's, okay? So this is very easy to determine the mode, okay? The most popular number is this 8, correct? All right, and there can be multiple modes. There may be no modes, all right? It's also easy to tell the range. I can take the highest, subtract the lowest pretty easily. I can find the median pretty quickly. I can count, inward and get to the middle one and see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on that end and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this end. So this indeed is my middle number. So when I'm going to do my box and whisker, okay, I'm going to kind of use this idea, and I am going to, let me get that circle off here. All right, I'm going to put a point on 7, okay? That's going to be my low point, and a dot at 28, okay? And I'm also going to put a dot on 15. So my low, high, and middle are pretty simple, aren't they? Now, the first quartile, the middle of the first group of data, which I found was my third and fourth score. So in this case, since there are two middles of the first half, I'd get the middle of those numbers. This is 9, correct? So 9 is going to be the edge of my box, okay, my first quartile. The middle of the last half of data is 20 and 22, so 21, and that is going to be my third quartile. So all I do now is connect this. I've got the box, and then I attach the whiskers. And that's all there is to it. That's not hard at all. So if you would, like I said, check the book, because it will be quite time consuming for us to go through these examples on the board, because there's so many pieces of data. But I think that you all will be able to read through and answer the questions. So I'm going to try to go ahead and do A and B for you up here. So I would really like you to stop this video, read through the examples on your own, do the practice once you think you've got it, and then come back and check what I've got up here. And it will take me a few minutes to get this up here, but you all know which I want you to do. So, all right, I'm going to put the data up here and let you go about your business. Okay, so I took the data, I put it in order. I went ahead and did the line plot down here. So I know that my lowest is 12, my highest is 40. So I went ahead and did by fives. Not horribly neat, I know that, terribly neat. But you see I've plotted 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 21, two 23s, 24, two 25s, 26, 30, 35, two 36s, 38, and 40. So there's my line plot. Now, there are 19 pieces of data, so my midpoint is the 10th score, which is 24. All right, it's the median. So my low is 12, my high is 40, and my median is 24. So those are my three starting dots, okay? Now, the first half of the data, there are 9 scores in the first half, okay? So the 5th score, there's 4 less, 4 more. So 16 is my first quartile. That means 1/4 of the scores are lower than 16. 1/4 of the scores fall between 16 and 24, okay? Now it's not proportional. It's not going to look like exactly quarters. The data is going to be skewed sometimes. Sometimes it'll work out fine, but other times, it's not half of the box, right? Or, half here and half. It's not going to work that way necessarily. All right, and then from the last half of the data, the midpoint would be 35. So that's where I get my 3rd quartile. So this is like my 2nd quartile, which would be my half, my midpoint. All right, and so there you have the box and whisker. So if you have troubles, I'll try to talk you through it. FaceTime with me, and we'll go over it together. But check RunWeb. And we will be skipping the teaching for 104, so our last lesson's coming up soon. Have a great afternoon, everybody.